They say revenge is a dish best served cold. In my case, it came with a $2.8 million bill attached. The look on my sister Amanda's face when she realized what she'd actually inherited was worth every penny of that debt. But let me start from the beginning. I'm Isabella Morton, and this is the story of how my sister's greed became her own worst enemy. Growing up, Amanda was always the perfect one. While I buried myself in books and dreamed of becoming a financial analyst, she mastered the art of being our grandmother's favorite. Every family gathering was a performance, with Amanda playing the role of the devoted granddaughter to perfection. "Izzy," she'd say, shaking her head at my practical clothes and minimal makeup, "you could be so pretty if you just tried. No wonder Grandma worries about your future." What Amanda never understood was that while she was perfecting her act, I was learning everything I could about our family's business empire. Founded by our grandfather, Morton Investments had grown into a complex network of companies and assets. After his death, our grandmother Eleanor took control, running everything with an iron fist and a velvet glove. The trouble started 3 years ago, when Grandma Eleanor was diagnosed with terminal cancer. Suddenly, Amanda's occasional visits became daily occurrences. She was always there, playing nurse, confidant, and devoted granddaughter all at once. I tried to visit too, but somehow my schedule always conflicted with Amanda's carefully orchestrated care routine. When I did manage to see Grandma, Amanda was always there, hovering, steering the conversation away from business matters. "Grandma doesn't need to worry about those things now," she'd say sweetly. "You know how stress affects her condition." What I didn't know then was that Amanda had already set her plan in motion. It started with small things: mail that never reached me, phone calls from Grandma that I supposedly never returned, documents requiring my signature that Amanda helpfully took care of for me. I was too busy trying to keep Morton Investments afloat to notice at first. The company had taken some heavy hits during the market crash, and I was working around the clock to restructure our debt and salvage what I could. Then came the day I tried to access my executive account and found myself locked out. "I'm sorry, Ms. Morton," the IT director said, "but according to our records, you transferred all your access rights to your sister last month." I stared at him. "That's impossible. I never." But there it was, my signature on a dozen documents I'd never seen, transferring everything to Amanda. Somehow, she'd managed to convince everyone, including our dying grandmother, that she was the responsible one, the one who should inherit everything. I confronted her immediately, finding her at Grandma's house, naturally. "How could you do this?" I demanded. "Those signatures are forged." Amanda's perfectly made-up face didn't even flinch. "Prove it," she said softly. "Grandma's already signed the new will. Everything's being transferred to me. After all, I'm the one who's been here, taking care of her. Where were you, Izzy?" I opened my mouth to argue, but Grandma Eleanor's weak voice called from the next room. "Amanda, is that Izzy finally coming to visit?" The look Amanda gave me was pure triumph. "Yes, Grandma, but she was just leaving. You know how busy she always is." I stood there, realizing the depth of her manipulation. For years, she'd been building this narrative, the devoted sister, the caring granddaughter, while painting me as the cold, absent one focused only on business. But what Amanda didn't know, what she'd never bothered to learn, was exactly what she was inheriting. That night, I called Marcus Sullivan, our family's longtime lawyer and one of the few people who knew the true state of Morton Investments. "She's stolen my identity," I explained, "used it to transfer everything into her name." Marcus was silent for a moment. "Everything?" "Every last bit." He let out a low whistle. "Including the debt?" Now it was my turn to be silent. "You know," I said slowly, "I don't believe she thought to ask about that part." Marcus chuckled. "The personal guarantee on the restructuring loans? The tax obligations? The pension fund commitments? All formally in my name," I confirmed. "And now, apparently, in hers." "You want me to fight this?" he asked. I thought about it. I could challenge the forged signatures, fight the identity theft, but then I had a better idea. "No," I said, "let's make sure everything's properly transferred, every single asset." "And liability," Marcus finished, catching on. "Exactly." For the next 2 months, I watched as Amanda played her role perfectly. She nursed Grandma Eleanor, managed the household, and prepared to take control of her inheritance. I did nothing to stop her. The day after Grandma's funeral, Amanda swept into the Morton Investments offices like a queen claiming her throne. She'd dressed for the occasion in an expensive suit, her hair and makeup perfect as always. "I'll need all the account access changed to my name," she informed the executive board. As the new head of Morton Investments, I'll be making some changes. I sat quietly in the back of the room as Marcus stood up. Of course, Ms. Morton, he said smoothly, we've prepared all the final transfer documents. You just need to sign here, and initial these pages. Amanda signed everything with a flourish, not bothering to read the fine print. Her smile grew with each signature, probably imagining all the wealth she was claiming. Finally, Marcus handed her one last document, and this is the formal acknowledgement of all associated financial obligations. Whatever, Amanda said, signing with a practiced hand. Now, about my new office. Actually, Marcus interrupted, there's something we should discuss first, the debt. Amanda's perfectly plucked eyebrows drew together. What debt? Marcus began laying out documents, the $2.8 million in restructuring loans, personally guaranteed by the CEO of Morton Investments, which is now you, the outstanding tax obligations, the pension commitments. Shall I continue? The color drained from Amanda's face. But the company assets are currently worth about half that amount. I finally spoke up. Why do you think I spent so much time at the office instead of playing nursemaid? I was trying to save the company. This is a trick, she sputtered. I'll fight it. With what evidence? I asked calmly. You've spent the last 3 years proving that all those signatures are yours, that you're legally me. Congratulations, sis, you've inherited exactly what you deserved. I'll declare bankruptcy, she threatened. Marcus cleared his throat. Actually, these particular obligations survive bankruptcy, and given the clear paper trail of your identity theft, any attempt to discharge them fraudulently would result in criminal charges. Amanda's perfect composure finally cracked. Izzy, you can't do this to me. I'm your sister. Funny, I replied, standing up. You didn't seem to care about that when you were stealing my identity. I'll tell everyone what you did. What I did? You mean letting you steal my identity, forge my signature, and take control of a failing company? Go ahead. I'm sure the police would be very interested in that story. She turned to Marcus. There must be some way to undo this. The documents are filed, he said firmly, as you were so eager to prove. You're legally responsible for everything now. I walked to the door, then turned back. Oh, and Amanda? The creditors' meeting is tomorrow at 9. Don't be late, they hate that. The next few months were interesting, to say the least. Amanda tried everything to get out of her situation. She hired lawyers, threatened to expose family secrets, even tried to claim she'd been coerced. But the paper trail she'd created was too perfect, too thorough. Every document showed that she had knowingly and willingly taken control of everything, including the debt. Meanwhile, I started fresh. With my MBA and years of financial experience, I found a position at a prestigious investment firm. Within 6 months, I was heading their restructuring division, using my experience from Morton Investments to help other struggling companies. Amanda's perfect life crumbled quickly. Her expensive clothes went back to the stores. Her luxury apartment was exchanged for a small studio. Her social media accounts, once filled with carefully curated photos of her perfect life, went dark. She tried to move back in with our parents, but they'd finally seen through her act. Years of manipulation and lies had caught up with her. Even her friends disappeared when they realized she couldn't maintain her lavish lifestyle anymore. 1 year after Grandma Eleanor's death, Amanda showed up at my office. She looked different, no designer clothes, no perfect makeup, no carefully styled hair. Please, she begged, I can't do this anymore. The creditors, the responsibility, I'm not cut out for this. Really? I raised an eyebrow. But you worked so hard to prove you were better suited to run things than me. I didn't know, she cried. I thought I was getting the money, the status, not all this pressure. That's the thing about stealing someone's identity, Amanda. You don't get to pick and choose which parts you take. She slumped in her chair. What do you want? I'll do anything to get out of this. I looked at my sister, really looked at her. The perfect facade was gone, replaced by something real for the first time in years. You know what I wanted? I said quietly. A sister, not a competitor, not someone trying to steal my life, just a sister. But you couldn't even give me that. I can change, she whispered. Maybe you can, but not because you want to escape consequences. Real change comes from understanding what you did wrong, not just regretting that you got caught. I handed her a business card. This is a good financial advisor. He can help you work out payment plans, maybe restructure some of the debt. It won't be easy, but it's possible. You're not going to help me? I am helping you. I'm letting you learn what responsibility actually means. After she left, I sat thinking about Grandma Eleanor. In her final days, she must have known what Amanda was doing, maybe she even allowed it, knowing that sometimes the hardest lessons are the ones we have to learn for ourselves. 2 years have passed since then. Amanda's still struggling with the debt, but she's changed. She got a real job, learned to live within her means, even started taking business classes at night. Last month, she managed to negotiate a settlement with one of the major creditors, all on her own. As for Morton Investments, it's slowly recovering. The debt restructuring I'd put in place before Amanda's takeover is finally showing results. The company might actually survive, though it will never be the empire it once was. I see Amanda occasionally at family gatherings. She's different now, humbler, more genuine. Sometimes I catch her watching me with a mix of respect and regret, finally understanding what I knew all along, that real success isn't about appearances or status, but about responsibility and hard work. Last week, she sent me an email, no manipulation, no demands, just a simple message: I'm sorry, not because I got caught, but because I finally understand what I threw away. Not the money or the status, but the chance to have a real relationship with my sister. I haven't replied yet. Trust, once broken, takes time to rebuild, but maybe, just maybe, losing everything will help Amanda finally find herself. Epilogue. Morton Investments survived, though in a much smaller form. I occasionally consult for them, helping guide the new management team. Amanda still works to pay off the debt, but she's found an unexpected talent for sales and is slowly rebuilding her life on a more honest foundation. The other day, I found an old photo of us as children. Before competition and jealousy tore us apart, we were both smiling, arms around each other, no hint of the drama to come. I keep it on my desk as a reminder that sometimes the greatest revenge isn't making someone suffer, it's forcing them to grow up. Amanda and I aren't close, and maybe we never will be, but at least now when we see each other, there's something real between us. No more perfect masks, no more manipulation, just two sisters who learned the hard way that identity, real identity, can't be stolen, it has to be earned. As for me, I found my own success, on my own terms. My restructuring expertise is in high demand, and I've started my own consulting firm. Sometimes I handle cases involving family businesses, and I always look for the hidden Amanda, the person who thinks appearance matters more than substance. They say you can't choose your family, but you can choose how you deal with them. Amanda chose deception and paid the price. I chose to let her learn from her own mistakes, and in doing so, maybe we both learned something about what family really means. It's not about inheritance or status or who can play the perfect role. It's about truth, responsibility, and the courage to face consequences. Amanda learned that lesson the hard way, but at least she learned it. And that, in the end, might be worth more than any inheritance.